Shalom everyone, it's called Torah. It's Tuesday at noon. And today we're going to talk about Parashat Pinchas, the parasha that we're going to read this Shabbat. There's something very interesting in this parasha, besides the fact that Pinchas, being considered as a zealot, gets a reward of peace, of covenant of peace, and become a high priest, and many other things that takes place in the parasha. But really towards the end of the parasha, we see two events that need some explanation regarding their connection to each other. And I'm talking about the following events. The first event is that Moshe approached Hashem for the first time, by the way, in the history of the Torah. We always have Vayedaber Hashem and Moshe, and Hashem spoke to Moshe. And here it says Vayedaber Moshe el Hashem, and Moshe spoke to Hashem. And what did he want? He came to Hashem and he says, Hashem, please, we need to appoint a leader for the Jewish people. We need to find a leader that asher yetzeh lifnehem ve'asher yavo lifnehem, that will go in front of them and will represent them, that will take them, that will lead them. So basically, I'm asking for a leader, says Moshe to Hashem. And immediately after that, after Hashem says to him, okay, I listen to you and I agree with you, and take Yehoshua, Joshua, he's going to be the leader. The second event or the second issue or topic is korbanot tzibur, what we call congregational sacrifices. And obviously the question is, what's the connection between these two stories, these two topics? The first topic being the leader for the Jewish people, and the second is the congregational sacrifices. What's the connection? Now, I would like to suggest to you the following idea. Moshe asked for a leader, a Jewish leader, who is going to take responsibilities. He's going to represent the Jewish people as a chief of staff. He's going to represent the people as the political figure in diplomacy. He's going to lead the people economically, socially. There is a helper, Elazar, who is going to basically represent the kehuna, priesthood. And he is going to be the one who really takes responsibility for the Jewish people. But there is a risk. The same risk, by the way, that happened, or that really came into reality when Moshe was the leader. When you have a very charismatic leader, when you have a very dynamic leader, when you have a strong leader, there is a risk that the other people, the congregation, the community, the public, will feel like, you know, I have nothing to do with this venue, with this institution, with this nation. There is a leader. He is going to do the job for me. I don't need to do it. I don't really feel connected. He is so dynamic. He is so strong. He is so affluent. He should do the job. I don't need to be involved. What my contribution will contribute anything to this guy? He is the leader. I don't need to do anything. That's the second topic. Immediately after Hashem says, okay, take Yehoshua, and he is going to be the leader, and he's going to be strong, and the people should listen to him. I also want to tell the community, the public, hey, the fact that you have a strong leader does not mean that you don't need to do anything. Does not mean that you are exempt for contributing. Does not mean that your time, efforts, money, talent does not count because there is such a strong leader. You do count. The congregational sacrifice symbolizes basically what I will call the public involvement, the individualistic involvement of each one of us, who is not the main leader, he's not the main guy, telling us how important is our involvement in the continuation of our nation. So basically, these two topics that were connected to each other comes to teach us two things. One, we need a strong leader. We need to have a leader who takes responsibility. We need to have a leader who understands what he wants, where he is going to lead, and how he is going to lead. We need it. You can't have a weak leader. If you have a weak leader, you go nowhere. You need to have a strong leader. At the same time, the congregation, the nation, the community, the other people who are not as strong as the leader, and they shouldn't, but they still need to always feel that they are part of the mission, that they are part of the doing. They are part of what's going on. They are not isolated because there is a strong leader. And that's why I think the Torah put those two topics together to show you and to show us, obviously, the ambivalent relationships, and I would say the very delicate relationships between a strong leader and leadership and the nation. Never ever any leadership was successful if there was what we call the netek, a disconnect between the leadership and the people. At the same time, we never saw any successful country that the people run the country with no leaders. Doesn't happen. You need to have this delicate balance between strong leadership, strong nation, that find the ways to partner, to communicate, to build things together. And then you have a successful leadership. Thank you.